and kisses on my titties. Hey guys. Alright. I just got to watching a video, part 1 of one. Can't think of her name, but she was going through her eyeshadow palette collection. And it made me think, let me do mine and show you. I have big ones, little ones, whatever. They're all over here, my eyeshadow palettes. I'll go through. The 4 palettes I'm going to show you right now are in Project Pan. Excuse me, if you hear noise in the background, get down. It's my dog trying to get up on me. And she got a toy that bounces, kind of like a ball, but it's big, and you put dog treats in it. This one I'm using now, it's LA Color palette. It's in Project Pan. It's in the shade Lily. Anyway, this is in the shade Lily. Why Lily when there's a gray, a black, or a gray, white, and black? It's beyond me, but I haven't used this shade much. I want to get all of these little palettes, but then I decided not to. And now I've decided there's only certain palettes I want to get, and one of them y'all know I'm madly in love with, and that is Juvia's Place. I don't know if you can tell if there's any dents in these, but I don't really think there's any dents. Some of the flowers is gone on a little bit on the gray, mostly on the white, but that's a good palette. Then I have this one by Wet n Wild. I was totally wanting to collect every little Wet n Wild palette. It changes. I know they're not cruelty free, but that's not why. It's just that I don't reach for the Wet n Wild palettes as much as I used to all the time. I'm more into my Juvia's Place, my James Charles palette, my what's the other one? Pat McGrath palettes. I'm into stuff like that. But this is what it looks like, and you can tell this one here has been panned. Not panned, but it's gonna be panned. And this one looks like it has a little dent in it, but it looks pretty cool. Then I have, this is by Profusion. You cannot get this palette no more unless you look on their website, but I don't think they make these palettes anymore. But these were $1, and I bought these at Walgreens years ago. When I first started doing makeup, my cousin and I bought these little Profusion palettes. This is a blush palette. I think I might have another one in here. If not, I got rid of it, but you can tell I dug into this palette. I use this palette. It is a very good palette. For $1, you can't go wrong. A Profusion is pretty cool. But I definitely made headway with these 2 shades here. And I like that as well. Next palette is my Pat McGrath palette, which is in Project Pan. It says 18 months. I've had it longer than 18 months. But I've done pan 3 shades, used up 3 shades. Sorry. And got some more. And I want to get this one. I think this shade, no, not that one. This shade here, I think is going to be pan next. I'm going to keep using it. That brown one might. They all might. You never know which one might. You never know. Alright, let's scoot these over here. I'm getting into my next ones. These are some little ones. I have this one by MAC. I don't think you can get this one anymore. Beautiful One Color by MAC. This was the second MAC palette I had. I had a big one. I sold it. This one was in last year's Project Pan. And since I bought it last year, I brought it back out. Okay, my dog is trying to, you know how cats rub up against you? My dog is doing the same thing, but I've panned a shade. I think this shade here was broken when I bought it, when I got it in the mail, but that shade, I do like this palette. It is nice, and this shade here is panned. So my goal last year was not to use this up, but to pan it so I can put it back into my makeup collection. So that was for that one. Then I have this one here, which was also on Project Pan last year, and I never panned it. I panned one shade, but the shade I panned was not the shade I was supposed to work on panning. But this is Color Mate. You can get this at Dollar Tree for like $1. And I got this in a makeup swamp. And you know, I don't see people doing any more makeup swamps, but I loved doing makeup swamps. But right now, with this pandemic, it's hard for me to do anything with this pandemic with money tight. Me tight and me not being able to get a job right now because of this pandemic. But here's the shade here that I panned. This was a shade I wanted to pan, but didn't get it as well. Then I got this from a friend on YouTube as well. She sent me some palettes. And I like this. Once I wanted to get rid of this palette, and then I was like, yeah, I like it. But that's a palette. It's got some headways on this blue one and this one right here. The top two are really dented in, so those are the ones that I really use the most out of that palette. Getting into my favorite brand, Juvia's Place. This is the one that is in my Spotlight palettes for Thursday. It's the Eye for Dee. I always pick one palette put in Spotlight. So I have to pick a palette soon for Spotlight palette again. This is Eye for Dee. I have used it, but you can't tell that I've used it, but I have been using it. Some of the shades, like, I don't think I've used the orange, the green. Some of the shades I have not actually, I've used, but not a lot. But I have done some wonderful looks with this palette. And the looks I have done, I literally love as well. Then, of course, I have the New Brand 3, the Coral palette by Juvia's Place. Got this one on the 20, that is on my anniversary last year. For my anniversary. And I've used a lot of these shades. This is a beautiful palette. I definitely love this palette so much. This gray shade here, I've used a lot of this shade right here. Has been used a lot. You could tell what shades are dented in that I've made progress on. Like dents in. When I say progress, that means dented in. Then, of course, the new one I got for Christmas was the New Brand Royal palette. Love this palette. I don't really care too much for this, but everything else is beautiful, and who knows, I might use this palette. I know there's some of them I don't gravitate towards right away and start using them, but you never know. Then I have the Nomad palette by Juvia's Place. I'm in love with this palette. I watched a makeup declutter. She decluttered this palette, and I'm like, send me that palette, I'll take it. Shoot, y'all declutter palettes and y'all don't want them and they're not expired. Send them my way, I'll take them, hell yeah. I like this palette. And the video I watched today, the girl had this palette in there, and she called it her grungy palette. This ain't a grungy palette. Yeah, guaranteed right here are some dark shades. Like, these 4 shades are dark. But oh my god, they're beautiful. And I haven't really used this palette much. But girl, I think I'm going to use this next week's Spotlight palette. There, I just picked out my Spotlight palette. So, next week, this is my Spotlight. Next month, this is Spotlight palette for Thursdays. Not next week, Thursday. Spotlight palette, hell yeah, I just picked that. Another palette I like, this is by Juvia's Place. This is the Masquerade Mini by Juvia's. I think it's this one, or it might be the Magic Mini. Nope, it's this one. Haven't even had this palette long, and I've already fanned that shade. But I love this palette as well. You got your browns, your purples, your blues. But oh my god, and your pinks. Man, this palette is gorgeous. I so much love these shades right here. Are so pretty. This whole palette is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Then my last Jewish face palette is the Magic Mini. Now I did have the Zulu palette. I finished it up, and I've had the Nubrian 1 palette. It got wet and molded, so I had to pitch it. I love this. I love the shade in here. Oh, Sun. What did it say right here? You can tell it's got a real. Sorry. Excuse me. It's got a dip in it, and I do like that shade as well. This KOGI shade is very pretty as well. Let me take a drink real quick. Alright. Getting into some more palettes. I have this palette, which the palettes I'm about to show you now are palettes that have been panned. I have a shade pan, so. And I've got glitter shadow on my fingers. This one here, I got off a Wish for $1. I think I paid like $2 for it. With shipping, or $1 and $2 shipping, something like $3 or whatever. Very pretty shade. I panned the yellow shade. I like this palette. It's kind of like the Huda Jewel palettes, the Huda Beauty palettes, but it's like, could be something like them, but you never know. Then I have this palette here by the Color Workshop. These palettes are okay. This was a rainbow palette. And I want to get, Ramel London has a rainbow palette I do want to pick up. So I keep telling myself every time we go to Walmart, we just went to Walmart recently, me and my husband. Because you know the little mini waffle maker they do on TikTok? I'm trying to get one of those. So my husband said we might go this weekend and see if they have it in at Walmart. If they do, get it. I told him there's like 3 palettes I need to pick up that I want. One is the Ramel London palette. And then I have 2 of the little elf palettes I need to get. But he told me I can only get 1, so I'm going to check it out. But this is what it looks like. Very pretty. I love the shades in this one. This green, these 2 greens are gorgeous shades. I'm not going to swatch any of these palettes. Here's another one by the Color Workshop. I panned 2 shades in here. This one is called the Color Wave palette. This one is Love Struck palette. Now, I don't know if you can get these Color Workshop palettes anymore or not. She bought this as a kit set on Walmart's website, so you will have to look and see for the Color Workshop. That's what it looks like. And these 2 purples right here, the purples are so gorgeous. The pink and purples in here are gorgeous. I love this palette. At first, I didn't think I was going to like it. I was like, what's she buying that? That's like, oh, hello. And then I got to liking it, and I had one that was all browns. I sold. Then I had another one I gave to her, and I said that was one of them. I didn't like the colors in it. It was not good enough for me. I've had this palette for a very long time. This is a Milani palette. Even thought about putting in Project Pan this year, but I didn't because I've had it forever. But panned 1 shade, got the other shades. Now I know a lot of these palettes, I've been putting dates on them. So if I got them last year, I'm going to keep them. When this year comes around and I do another palette declutter before Christmas, again, I'm going to get rid of palettes that don't have a date on it that's not new. They're going to go in the trash. And if they're new and they got a date on them, I will be keeping them in my collection. This is a palette. I do have this one on my wish list again on Amazon. I got this off of Amazon. This is the Nude Spectrum Eyeshadow palette. It's Lid Certain palette. Excuse me. Oh my god, my dog just farted. But I did pan one shade. This is what it looks like, and I love this palette. This is only $4.99 on Amazon. $4.99. Very gorgeous palette. Love it. You just don't know how much I love it. Then these are like, I think $7 or $8. They might be $6 or $7, $8 at Family Dollar. I think you can get them at Dollar General too, but I got mine at Family Dollar. And it's the LA Color Frisky Eyeshadow Palette. I think I panned 3 shades or 2 shades. No, just 2 shades. I panned these 2 shades. The 2 shades that are panned, this one I definitely love. That one's gonna get panned soon, but I definitely love this palette. And I've had these palettes for a while. Like I said, I've had a lot of these palettes for a while. Some of them do need to go in the trash, but some of them I don't want to throw away because I think they're so gorgeous. But if my husband and I ever go to Family Dollar again, I'll grab this palette, pick it up, set it, and let him check it out and say I have it, but mine's bad and I need it. Then I have, my son bought me this one. I definitely love this one. This is, I want to say Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, but it's not, but it is. This is the BYS Peach Eyeshadow Palette. I love this palette. He bought it for me one day. I have not panned a shade yet in it, but I do love the shade. This is kind of a dupe and reminds me of the Too Faced Peach palette. And so, and I do. Okay, this one did okay, now, this one, oh, this one has, okay, this one has not been panned yet, so. Now, I have this one here, which is my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, which is one of my favorite palettes of all time. Ooh, and it's cold, and it's gorgeous. It does not want to stick now. It's like, I'm not going to stick. But anyway, I have panned 2 shades and trying to use up a shade. I love my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. It is gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It took me so many months to save up the money to buy this palette. Another palette I bought, which is W7 In the Night Smoky Shade Eye Color Palette. I don't like this palette, but I'm not going to get rid of it. I have panned a shade in here. I'm just going to actually keep it and use it. But then eventually I'll probably throw. What I want to do is I want to get a Z palette and pull these out of this and post them in a Z palette. Then I have my Jeffree Star and Astronomy palette. I think that's how you say it. If I'm saying it wrong, Jeffree can kick my butt later. But I'm in love with this palette as well. This wasn't the palette I actually ordered. I ordered the Jawbreaker palette. They sent me this one instead. Grrr. But I got this on November. November. Like a hair amount. I got this palette in November, so. Next palette this palette is what I'm using this week. Or this month. This is the BH this month and next month. This is a BH Cosmetic Glam Reflection palette. It's got 15 shades. Sorry for the glare. I don't think you can get this palette again. I do not know. But I got this off of a friend on YouTube. But I did pan 3 shades. I love the palette because of the big mirror. And my husband looked at me like I was crazy because this thing here can come out. This plastic thing. And I'll probably use this as a Z palette because it has a big mirror. And put some shades in it that I can carry with me. So, I'll set that right there. Take a sword. Then I have this one Face Cosmetic Glam Eyeshadow Palette. I have panned 1, 2, 3 shades in here, a blush and 2 eyeshadow palettes. If you have a 99-cent store, check it out because this was like $2.50 for this palette at the 99-cent store. And you can see the shades that I panned, so I'm very excited about that one. Then, of course, I have the one, the only, the magnificent, famous James Charles. Another one of my favorite palettes. And it took me forever to get this palette. I panned the red shade. I panned two shades out here. I panned in the red shade and the brown shade. And I love this palette so much. I love James Charles. I love this palette. It is so gorgeous. It's like magnificent. Okay. Okay, now we're getting into, sorry about that, I was trying to get some palettes to go over and I had to see what my dog wanted. I'm getting into these palettes here. These are my little elf palettes. I know there's a couple of them I do not have. This one is very bad, and I definitely like this one. I would repurchase this one again. I love the two middle shades. They're very, very pretty. Then I have this one, which is Rose Water, which is another pretty palette, and you can tell I made a headway dent into that one. Then I have Hot Jalapeno. I definitely would repurchase Hot Jalapeno. I think Rose Water I would probably repurchase too. I'm not sure. I wrote down in my makeup book which ones I would repurchase and the ones I would not. And I told my husband these were some I wanted to get. And I want to get some of them that I already have, duplicates, and carry in my makeup bag with me when we go on trips. Okay, it looks like I panned this one already. This one is Truffles. Don't tell me. Yes, I already panned. Oh, wow. I've already panned Truffles. You see in the corner down there, I panned it. I'm using Truffles. So, Truffles is one evidently, I guess, I panned this shade right there. Then I have Caramel and Cream. I don't think I'd buy Truffles again. I don't think I'd buy Caramel Cream either. And the last one that I have is Carnival Candy. I would not purchase that one either. Give me a second and I'll be right back. I need to go to the bathroom. So getting into, I have these two here by LA Color. This one is Shimmer Eye Palette. They're both Shimmer Eye Palettes. This one's in the shade Shine On. Very beautiful. I definitely, these are like, I think $2. They can't go wrong with a $2 palette. This one is Beam Me Up. And I love this one more than I love the first one. I love this one. The pretty shades. This one has been used. I did have this one before and used it, but I was doing something and this one fell broke, so I had to go buy another one. I was with my husband and I put it on the counter. I said, I just broke that palette. I've got to have it. This is the other one. This is the nude palette. Now these, like I said, I don't think you can get them. I do not know, but this is a nude palette. Very pretty palette. Then I have my Chill Baby palette. I definitely love this palette. You can get this one off of Wish as well. But I got this off of Wish, but I haven't really seen it again on Wish. But you can always go and check. It's by CMAADU Cosmetics. I'll show you the thing right there. You can look up that, and maybe you can find this Chill Baby palette. Then, of course, I have my other two Pat McGrath palettes. I love you, Pat McGrath. I have an article here that came in a Leisure magazine. I got the mail about Pat McGrath, and I keep saying I'm going to read it, and I haven't yet. But this is a Pat McGrath palette. Love it. And then I have this one by Pat McGrath as well. I love these palettes. I love Pat McGrath. Then I have this one here I got from a friend on YouTube. This is Give Me Shade Multiple Finish by Clean Color. It's been scratched up so much. I've used it a lot. Scratched up. I use it, but you can barely tell. But I do use this palette. Then the same brand I just showed you. This is by them as well, and they come with these little palettes. This one is red. And you have green. And I love the green palette because I love these two shades right here are so gorgeous. And this avocado green here, oh my god, it's gorgeous. Then you have the purple. And oh my goodness, gorgeous. Almost done. Then here you have the Revlon Color Stay Not Just Nude. I tried selling this palette because I really didn't care too much for it, but I'm actually glad I didn't sell it because that's something on me. I haven't used it much, but it is a new palette. I tried giving it to my stepdaughter, but she didn't want it, so I decided I'd keep it. I will use it. Then I have the Essence Spice Up Your Life palette. I made some money and bought this palette. Oh my god, I was so happy. My husband gave me money. They made money. My husband gave me money. I got this on the 22nd, which was my anniversary of last year. Very good palette. I would say if you don't have this palette in your makeup collection, you should have it. But if you're beginners in makeup and you're trying to work with shadows and you're new at it, this would be a good palette for you. And, you know, if you really want to work with colors, I would say get some of these little palettes. They're like $2 or $3 on Amazon. Okay, the Chocolate Gold palette by Too Faced. Well, this is a gold eyeshadow palette. And I'm not for sure who this is by. Maybe it shows inside. I don't know who this is by. But I know you cannot get this palette on Wish. I bought this palette on Wish. When I seen the palette, I said, that's like the Too Faced Chocolate Gold. And it's cheaper than the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette was. And it took me forever to save up my money to get the Sweet Peach. But I do want the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. But I got this one. And I was excited to get it because I definitely love this palette so much. Alright, getting into my little palettes real quick. I have this one, Wet n Wild Fergie palette. It's dark purples. I have this LA Color palette, Smoky. I'm sure a lot of y'all seen these. These are like at Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, Dollar General. And they're $1. I got this in a Makeup Swamp. She sent me this palette. And then I have these two right here by Wet n Wild as well. You have Comfort Zone and Not a Basic Peach. I had the old Comfort Zone palette. Used it up. Love it. And this one is not bad either. I got this one, I think, in a giveaway. And then Not a Basic Peach. I bought this one year for Valentine's Day. And I used it Valentine's Day with red lipstick. Then I have another one of these Amuse palettes. And I got this off of a YouTuber. I use this one shade right here a lot. And I use that shade. And these come out too. So when they're done, I may use these as little traveling, like, I want to use some of this that I know the inserts can come out and use them for little traveling. See pellets and put shades in there. If I have to super glue them, I'll super glue the shades. This is by Wet n Wild as well. This is a great gangster glistener. Yeah, great glistener. I got this palette off of Wish as well. I mean, not Wish, but Amazon. Love it. Beautiful. And these two shades here, I've used for the brown for brow and the black I've used for eyeliner. I have another one here. This is Lights Camera Action. I got this one off of Amazon as well. Then I have this one I bought at Family Dollar. It was like, I think $2 or $3. It's by RK. It's the Diary series, and it's in this, then the thing Sunset Kiss. Another very good, beautiful palette. I love this palette so much. Then I have these palettes here. These are all four of these palettes. I think there's four, yeah, four are LA Colors. You have the LA Color Nude palette, which I think is awesome. You have the LA Color Fire palette. And these are like $4. No, $3 at Family Dollar. I don't know about in your state, but in my state, Texas, they are $3 a palette. So they probably are in your state. This is the Ice palette. I like the pretty red ones. I like the pretty purple ones. I haven't used these much, but I need to give them a try. This one is the Rose palette. I definitely like the Rose palette. It's beautiful. And I believe this shade's about to be panned. Alright. Let me move this over here for a second. Then I just have this little stack right here to go through, and I should be done. You have this one by Clinique. You have this one here, which this is Morning Java. This one is Spoiled Brats. These you can buy. I bought this one at Dollar Tree for $1. Will you Marina Me? You have this one here. I'm getting sunburned. Then you have Walking on Eggshells. You have this one by LA Color here. This one's in the shade Water Lily. Then this one's a highlighter, and it's in the shade Time to Glow, but I use it as an eyeshadow. I did not like it as highlighter. I like it better as an eyeshadow. Then I have this one by Essence. I do not know if you can still get these. It's about candies. I got this in a makeup swamp a long time ago. It's number 2 candies. But that's what it looks like. Pastel colors, very pretty. This one was like $2, I think, at Family Dollar. This is by BYS eyeshadow. And it's in the shade Neons. So that includes all of my eyeshadow palettes. I don't have any coming in, but if I get any new palettes in, you know they're going to be in my Spotlight palette, so you'll be able to check it out. I usually don't do a lot of eyeshadow palette collections, but I will be decluttering some of these palettes eventually, and I will also be doing another update on a palette collection, and let y'all see any progresses on any of these palettes. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified of more videos. Until next time, guys, I love y'all and hope you have a blessed, wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. New to my channel, welcome, 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 and give me a hoorah 30-day free trial. It's free to watch my channel. It does not cost. I'm telling you, it's free, it's free, it's free. And all the advice and the palettes you see, it's free to show you and tell you where you can get them. Bye, guys.